Hey fellow cooks, just wanted to give you a quick update. Episode 32 of the podcast just launched. We gave you 3 kitchen essential things to execute in order to up your efficiency and organization in the kitchen. So we thought it'd be a good idea to do a quick tour of our own personal kitchen here and to show you the things visually. So the first thing we talked about in the podcast episode is plate organization, and I strongly advocate for the vertical stacking method. There are some really cheap ways in order to get this done, and I'll show you what this looks like here in our own personal kitchen. And as you can see, every plate that we have is at display, ready for one-hand use. And this also makes, as we talked about in the episode, cleanup and putting clean dishes away a lot easier. Item number 2 in the podcast episode, handling your trash properly. Here in this kitchen, we have a couple different solutions for that. One is just a collection of hotel pans here, depending on the type of trash that we have. One is for general landfill waste that goes into the regular trash can, and we also have a dedicated second hotel pan for any sort of food scraps that go into our bokashi bucket and later into our gardening soil. And then we also have a third hotel pan here dedicated for any sort of coffee ground waste. My solution here in this kitchen is hotel pans, but you can use whatever you want. You don't have to buy anything new. You can already use what you have in your personal kitchen, bowls, Tupperware, whatever it may be. Whatever you can use to collect the trash easily and put it away, and also to have something that can be maneuvered around the kitchen easily depending on where you're working. A couple other cleaning topics as well is what we use here in the kitchen for general counter everyday surface cleaning. Is just a refillable bottle of vinegar, nothing fancy here. And as we talked about in the episode as well, a receptacle for used and dirty cookware. Item number 3, spoons. Here in our kitchen, we have 2 different locations for spoons that are locations in which they might be used the most, and one is here at the cooktop. This might be a good application or instance where we might need to use a spoon to add some seasoning to something that we're cooking or to taste something that is in progress. So since we're here in the kitchen, we'll take this opportunity to go through a couple different other items in the kitchen that may be helpful for you as well. One of the items I wanted to show you here is the carbon steel pan. This is an item that we covered in episode number 13. And between these 2 pans here on our stove and the Dutch oven, 99% of our stovetop cooking is taken care of in these different vessels. So if you're interested more in learning about this kitchen essential here, check out podcast episode number 13. So for drying dishware, the normal conventional dish drying rack that sits on top of your counter isn't a good fit for this kitchen here and for my daily use. So a solution that I've come up with here is a rubber bartending mat, and this is where most of our hand wash dish drying occurs. This is a great solution because it doesn't take up a lot of space, and if you ever need to free up this counter space, this is something that can obviously easily be moved. So back in September of 2018, and also more recently back in podcast episode number 27, I talked about an essential tool to own for day-to-day knife care maintenance, and that is the honing steel. This is something that is here in the kitchen, easily accessible, right next to our normal everyday kitchen knives that we use. That way, it's something that you can grab right before you're ready to start cutting. So if you're more interested in learning about this, check out, like I said, the post from September of 2018 or podcast episode number 27. So another thing that we talk about in podcast episode number 27 is making sure you have an effective solution for knife storage to make sure that your knives are stored safely and to make sure that they're properly protected. One thing that we have in our kitchen for daily use for the knives that get used the most is the knife block near the counter, but another solution that may be a good fit for you and a solution that I use here for knives that aren't used as often is a magnetic knife bar. So one thing I posted recently on Instagram that I think everyone has really enjoyed is the location that I've improvised for anything undergoing any sort of fermentation. Here above the espresso machine, this thing is always on and it's generating a good amount of heat, so the cabinet directly above it is significantly above room temperature. And currently in the cabinet right now, we've got a couple different experiments going, including trying to grow a new SCOBY, and we've also got another batch of kombucha on the way. Thanks for joining me on my own personal kitchen tour. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about here, feel free to check out episode number 32, where we talked about the first 3 organization tips, or feel free to leave any questions or comments down in the comment section below. See you guys next time.